I am the 16-year nootropics and biohacking expert, here for more than a decade, cranking out explosive, scientifically validated, and sometimes highly opinionated content. Action-packed with the latest in nootropics usage strategy, TRT protocol optimization, male sexual performance hacks, and general biohacking protocols. Ruthlessly scientific, epically handsome, comedically funny, but most importantly, epically handsome. Join the most comprehensive male performance optimization channel on YouTube by subscribing now to the one, the only, the smart, the witty, the hardcore, the ruthlessly science-based channel, Cortex Labs. Epically handsome. Off the bat, 20% off supercharged dopamine and nootropics mastery. The code for that is 20 now. Cortex stack, focus and flow, and high level stimulant energy. 25% off. The code for that is 25 Cortex. And don't forget about a little known, very powerful motivation and energy nootropic stack called Torque. Right now, 25% off. Code for that is 25 Torque. Links are in the description of the video. Lastly, boys, you know the drill. I am a consultant on TRT, nootropics, energy optimization, ED, sexual dysfunction, host of other things, and you can hire me in under a minute at livecortex.com. So Vinpocetine is a vinca alkaloid, which has a derivative. It's a synthetic derivative of it called Vinpocetine. Now, Vinpocetine is a nootropic, actually classified as a nootropic. I classify it as a nootropic, and it's really always been a nootropic in everybody's book. Now, like most nootropics have some sort of like history in the clinical literature for treating ailments. Some of them treat Alzheimer's. Vinpocetine is actually used for the treatment, treatment of cerebrovascular disorders such as stroke and dementia. And it's been the case for 30 years. Interestingly, recent studies have revealed a number of novel functions of Vinpocetine, including anti-inflammation, antagonizing injury-induced vascular remodeling, and high-fat diet-induced atherosclerosis, as well as attenuating pathological cardiac remodeling. Now, the vinca alkaloid Vinpocetine, which Vinpocetine is essentially a derivative of, is an alkaloid that's extracted from the periwinkle plant. The periwinkle plant, boys. Doesn't that sound funny?
Just a little reminder to you guys, when you hit the like button, it actually makes a real big difference on the channel, okay? So if you would, just take a little bit of time out of your fucking day and hit the goddamn like button.
Interestingly, and this is one of the things we look at in terms of nootropics for efficacy's sake, is Vinpocetine can pass through the blood-brain barrier and enter the brain after oral or intravenous administration. It crosses right into the BBB and affects brain chemistry. Now, if you really want to get into scientific literature on this, I'd suggest reading this paper because you can get into all the different cellular targets of Vinpocetine. The paper is titled An Update on Vinpocetine, New Discoveries and Clinical Applications. Importantly, though, mechanistically, Vinpocetine improves brain blood flow and oxygen, right? So it's going to optimize the way that your brain is managing your blood flow, which is very critical. I mean, that's why it's used in these cerebrovascular disorders such as stroke and otherwise. Let's talk about the dose range quickly. Dose range, in my opinion, is 10 to 50 milligrams. It really all depends on what you're trying to do. Let's talk about the effects. So, you know, look, I like nootropics that are subtle. Some of them I like that are very powerful, obviously, like Torque, Modafinil, Bromontane, Malcar, and Teacrine, as an example. However, I also like subtle nootropics too that kind of just put my brain in a better functioning place compared to its baseline and allow me to be like, I have a noticeably clearer brain or faster brain, or I feel like my brain's just like less gunked up. Vinpocetine is one of those chemicals. What it feels like when you dose it is a subtle brain clearing effect, right? You just work a little faster, like a little more efficient, a little better. Memory's probably better. You're probably being a little more verbally fluent. Like you're going to have a general enhancement of every facet of cognition, which is a very pleasant experience. You know, if you're in tune with your brain and you know what it's like when it functions like shit, and you know what it's like when it functions great, and you enjoy and appreciate that latter state, Vinpocetine is a good nootropic for you.
Subscribe to the channel, please. It really makes a difference. I would really appreciate it if you would just hit that sub button. Go ahead and do it. I'll wait.
Now, there are a lot of different use cases. So first, I'm going to take us to a Reddit thread of a guy who used it as a healing agent. I'm going to read you his thread. He goes, I'm using Vinpocetine as sort of a healing agent. As I understand, MDMA inhibits cerebral blood flow, true, Yes, I'm over 18. You already asked me that. Go ahead and ask me again. I bet you will. I bet you'll ask me that again in the middle of my video. He goes, I've been using Vinpocetine to try and reverse some damage done 2 years ago. A long-time MDMA user, 2 years clean from everything this month. I've added new PEP, choline bitartrate, and DHEA to combat some of the short-term memory issues I suffer on a daily basis. He goes, noticeable effects so far. Crazy focused when lifting. Not stim focused, but like a nothing else is there but me and this bar kind of focus. Now, this is actually critically important, and it sort of explains how the effects come about when taking Vinpocetine. You know, it's easy to clear your brain. Look, when blood flows better, everything that you do, cognitive faculty-wise, is easier. This is why, by the way, tadalafil or Cialis is pretty nootropic-like because it optimizes brain blood flow in addition to, you know, junk blood flow. Okay, then. Here's another thread. What's y'all? What is y'all? What is y'all? I would just say y'alls. That's how we would do it down in Texas. What's y'all's experience? What's y'all's experience with Vinpocetine? Guy goes, it's excellent for cerebral blood flow, if I'm not mistaken. I've used it and its effects feel similar to and paired well with ginkgo. Yeah, ginkgo's another, you know, neurological blood flow optimization chemical. This guy goes, I love it and have taken it for years. It reminds me of Nootropics regarding the awake feeling you get cognitively. Very important. Exactly what I, experience. I take Nootropics sparingly, but it tends to lose some effect if I'm taking daily. Vinpocetine does not. Another great point. Doesn't really have a tolerance to it. And I would also wager that, it's not just an acute use benefit, like you get performance when you use it. I would wager, considering its use for cerebral vascular disorders, that you effectively engage in kind of blood flow remodeling in the brain, which is always a good thing to prevent, strokes. This is a weird one, but you guys might be interested. I took it years ago. It helped me dream in color again after a head injury. I felt more confident, easily handle large numbers, no side effects for me. Tried to get it again with no luck. To play devil's advocate, because it may respond different in different people depending on what you need, a guy goes, had some years ago, it made me sleepy, so I only took it twice. Some nootropics take a while to get used to. Not sure if this was one of those. First heard about it 30 years ago. Yeah. So, good point. May not respond exceptionally well on everybody. It really depends on you and whether or not you have low blood pressure. And I imagine it may change cerebral blood pressure to an extent. Could actually lower it for people that have high blood pressure, which would be useful, but not everyone's going to get a stellar response from it. It all depends on you.
Just a little reminder to you guys, when you hit the like button, actually makes a real big difference on the channel, okay? So if you would, just take a little bit of time out of your fucking day and hit the goddamn like button.
This guy took it some years ago and liked it. Felt I had a small memory boost effect in a way which also helped me focus a bit. This guy, amazing compound on its own, incredible when taken with racetams. Okay, so yes, there are racetams that improve brain blood flow too, namely piracetam. So if you want to stack Vinpocetine with anything, it would be piracetam. Last thread. What is your opinion about Vinpocetine? This guy says 10 to 30 milligrams a day is what he was running. Didn't really notice a whole lot. You got people in the comments saying worked really well for me. Only used it a handful of times. Another guy, I like it a lot. I think it works with racetams and psilocybin. Another thing I've noticed that if I take it before a long run, I will more likely get into a flow state while running. This is the power of Vinpocetine. Not only is it effective for turning on good brain function, but it's kind of cool what it does. Basically, brain Viagra. It's not stimulating. It just helps you have optimal blood flow to the brain. That means your brain will receive more energy, vitamins, minerals. For me, it gets rid of drowsiness when you feel like you want to lay your head. But I just take 5 milligrams every 2 days. That's a low dose. Again, this stuff is actually very potent. That's why 10 to 50 milligrams is my suggested dose range. Back to the notion that it's really not that stimulating, and you have to sort of pick and choose what you want sometimes. You can have a stimulant in the mix like teocrine, theobromine, or dynamine, and then take Vinpocetine in addition to that to get that functional benefit. You run a good multivitamin, multi-mineral supplement in the morning, you eat well for yourself, you don't drink a whole lot of booze, well, then you're gonna be functioning pretty optimally anyway and have energy, right? Add on top of that something like Vinpocetine to increase brain functionality, processing, computing power, memory, clear thinking. Well, then you've got a synergistic combination and a great brain state. So boys, as I said in the beginning, and look, this is busy season for me, so if you're going to book me, you got to book soon. Otherwise, I'm going to have to take some of these consults off the website because too many clients equals me not being effective for people. TRT, nootropics, energy, ED, sexual dysfunction, hosts of other things that I have expertise in. You can hire me in under a minute at livecortex.com. Go book. Torque Stack, 25% off. Code for that is 25. torque. Cortex stack, also 25% off. Code for that, 25 Cortex. And again, the most comprehensive video course on optimizing the dopaminergic system is Supercharged Dopamine. That's 20% off. Code for that is 20 now. All right. Same code applies to Nootropics Mastery. Pleasure hanging out with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the live stream yesterday. We got about an hour of good content and answering questions Tuesday evening. I'm going to be doing a lot more evening live stream because my nights have like become free. I enjoy the live streams. I enjoy your guys' questions. So more to come. Have a great day.
Look here. Look right in mine eyes. Subscribe to the channel, please. It really makes a difference.